Hello, and welcome to another FTP test. Been a few weeks now. It's good music since I did the last FTP test. I thought it's about time. Close the door without falling from the bike. Managed. So we're doing another FTP test. Last time I was able to just make it to, I think it was 480 watts. Yeah, just under before I blew up. So the idea is to, get to the same level or maybe a bit higher. We'll see. But I thought during that test, I'm also talking a little bit about zones because it's so funny what comments you get under the videos I post on Instagram when it comes to riding in zone 2. And everyone's like, oh, this is not your zone 2, this is your zone 3 or 4. But yeah, what's zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And how do you ride accordingly? Disclaimer, I'm not the coach, I'm not a sports scientist. All information I have is my interpretation of it and how I see it. So, in general, zone 1, I think, is relatively easy to understand. It's your recovery. But it also shouldn't mean that you don't have any force in the pedals. So I would say a good active recovery for me is around 160 to 180 watts. So that is a very easy pace. I hardly break any sweat at that pace. It should be very relaxed feeling, trying to ride at a good cadence, so 85 to 90, to flat out the legs and enjoy. Then comes the famous zone 2. And the issue with zone 2 is that it's very broad. So normally, most literature, you can see that the zone 2 goes between, I would say, 55-60% of your FTP, up to around 75 in some. So it's 25% of your FTP. So if your FTP is 360, let's say, or 320, the width of your zone 2 is 80 watts, which is huge. So riding at the beginning of zone 2, for me, is around 200 watts. It's super easy riding. But riding at the end of zone 2, for me, is around between 250 and 280 watts. So 260, 270 maybe, depends a bit also on the day. So it's a big difference if you're riding in the beginning of zone 2 or in the end of zone 2. When you listen to the great interview with the coach from Pogacar, he explains a lot the metabolics and what goes on in your body when you're riding in which zone. And most people say that the upper zone 2 is maybe the best area of riding when it comes to improving your endurance and fitness. You're not getting a sprinter when you're riding at the end of zone 2, but you're getting stronger. That is for sure. And you increase your capability to ride at a decent power because upper zone 2 is not hanging around. So that's that. Then zone 3. Zone 3 is often referred to as tempo. So it goes from 75% of your FTP up to around 80-85%. And that is a zone where you're working hard, you're not blowing up, but you can keep it for a sustained period of time if you're fueling well. Because in zone 2, or the upper zone 2, you also have, or most people have, or should have, the fat max power. So it's the place where you burn most fat. You don't burn a lot of fat when you're riding at 180 watts. You burn a lot of, or at least me. I need to ride at a decent pace to burn a lot of fat. The thing is, to be able to hold that pace where you burn a lot of fat, you also need carbs. So to do this 3-4 hour rides without carbs is not helpful. It actually kills your fitness over time. And you will not be able to burn as much fat as if you would be fueling. Because if you're fueling with carbs during a long, steady ride in upper zone 2, you can sustain that pace for longer and you'll be burning more fat. Then we have the tempo ride, which is your zone 3, which at least I would say for me, this is my 70.3 race pace. So upper zone 2 is around my Ironman pace, so around 270 watts. I can hold for 4.5 hours and then run a marathon. And that is my Ironman race pace. When it comes to 70.3 or Olympic distance, I'm riding in zone 3. So for the next 70.3, which I'll be racing in Oman in February, I'll be aiming to hold around 300 to 315 watts average, which is around 4.2 watts per kilogram, and then run the half marathon. Above that, zone 4 is your threshold. That's your FTP zone. Plus minus 5% of your FTP, that's your lactate threshold zone. That's the zone where if you pass that, the lactate goes up quicker, then you can, your body can remove it again. So you will essentially blow up when you're riding above zone 4, your threshold zone. Above zone 4, you have zone 5, often referred to as VO2 max. This is a superb zone to train in. We're talking about 3 to 8 minute efforts, hard efforts, VO2 max. It really helps to lift your VO2 max. And you're riding at, I would say, 105 to 120% of your FTP. So it's brutal to train in that zone and do repeated intervals, but it's very, very beneficial. So you want to improve your VO2 max? Yes. Riding in zone 5 will get you there. And above that, we basically have sprints or extremely hard efforts, anaerobic capacity into neuromuscular. So it's neuromuscular, I would say it's a short bursts, 10-second, 30-second efforts. And zone 6, anaerobic capacity, we talk about maybe 1 minute to 2 minute efforts at above 120% FTP. So that's a little bit the zones. We're now in the upper parts of my zone 2. You see my heart rate is 128. It's actually quite low, even for the upper part of zone 2. My zone 2 heart rate goes to around 142. That's what we measured in the lab last time. So I would get there if I keep riding at that pace. Also for Zwift, important to understand that the color of your power zone is different to the color of your heart rate zone. So as you can see now, I'm in the blue color on the power, which is zone 2 in the power. But if you will check the ride later, you will see that I'm in zone 2 in the heart rate, and it's green. I don't know why, but they didn't align the colors. So for heart rate, zone 1 is blue, zone 2 is green, and then we go to orange, red. And in the power, zone 1 is gray, zone 2 is blue, zone 3 is green. So now we reached the 280 watts. As you can see, I'm still capable of talking. Of course, I need to catch breath in the meantime, but that's normal when you're riding at the end of zone 2. I see a go, go, go. Thank you, Michael. Looks like some people read my story that I'm doing FTP tests. 300 watts, still relatively comfortable, but you see heart rate jumping above 140. So I've left my zone 2 in both power and heart rate. I expect that today my max heart rate will be around 180 because of the longer effort. You're actually not achieving your full max heart rate. You need to do shorter, harder efforts to get there. But we'll see what the max will be. But I would estimate around 175, 180. Trying to keep the cadence high, not putting too much stress on the knees. Plus, what I also realize, talking really gets you out of breath when you're riding with quite some power. So now we're at 320, and I will talk a little bit less, focus a bit on my legs. And yeah, so this is my, hopefully, Ironman race power. Would be nice. But we'll see. I've now done, I think this is the 4th FTP test in 6 months. So I'm curious to see where we're at. I didn't cycle a lot this week, only on Monday. So I just had 3 days off. Ideally, we would do a primer to get your legs ready the day before. But yeah, I want to do a longer ride tomorrow. So I decided I have to do FTP test today. 340. We're getting close to what I estimate my FTP to be, meaning I should talk less. And focus, focus, focus. Stretching the legs a little bit. I know it says, oh, you have to stay seated. Well, it's an all-out effort, so if it's all out, it's all out. Don't be so picky, Zwift. Starting to stretch a little bit more as we are approaching the levels which I would say we're getting into zone 4 now. So we're heading towards zone 5. I think the next one might still be zone 4. But I think after that, we're going into zone 5. I'll put some music there. But it's not too boring to watch, because you will only see me suffering. Good. We're still recording. I messed that up before. Definitely getting hard. At 360, solid pace. Can hold that for 20, 25 minutes in a race. I actually think when I'd had one where I did 33 minutes at 370. So I shouldn't complain. Now at over 5 watts per kilogram approaching. No, 5.2 now. Now it's really time to focus, breathing, and maybe we'll throw in some commentary in the post edit. Focusing on the cadence. Keep it nice and smooth. Above the head. into my 8-minute efforts, max efforts, I would say. Definitely hurting now. 167 heart rate. Speed the next gate. Ouch. Next stretcher. And back at it. Really hard now. Hurts a lot. There's the next gate. Come on. Oh, wow. That hurts. Ah. 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 Oh, I can't drop. Chain drop. But okay. I think that's enough. Yeah. Here we go. 354. Pretty much what I had before. So it's okay. Maintenance. after some high volume. Okay. I think I could have squeezed out 2-3 more watts. Any questions, comments below? Hope you enjoyed it. Au revoir.